Okay. So we started off in before the season started saying, could this be the best rookie class of quarterbacks of all time with Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, who's out for the year now. Caleb Williams was expecting a lot out of him. Jaden Daniels. Who else is a rookie quarterback?
Bo Nix.
And then Drake May, who's not playing, who's sitting behind Jacoby Brissett, and rightfully so, probably. Um, so we've kind of seen that they're struggling. No rookie quarterback has thrown a touchdown through 2 weeks. I mean, passing touchdowns throughout the league are almost at 50% over the past couple years. So I don't know what's going on if the defense is getting more hip to these new styles of offenses or things are going back to run heavy. Um, but no quarterback has thrown for a touchdown yet. I think Bo Nix might have ran one in. I think Jane Daniels ran a couple in. Caleb hasn't scored any. So, Kent, what do you think about the future of these young quarterbacks? Do you think that they should already get benched, just like Bryce Young did, or can you still see them finishing off the year strong and still having good careers? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think it's too early after 2 games. I mean, obviously not everybody's going to come in and look like CJ Stroud, fortunately. Um, and sets the bar really high. But fortunately for Caleb and Jaden, they both have a win under their belt, so I don't think there's not as much of a negative perception as there was with the Bryce Young, where they just were awful last year, didn't really win, and now this year 0-2. Bo Nix, though, I don't know. His situation might get a little tricky because they have some options behind him and Stidham and Zach Wilson.
Options.
I mean, but way based on what I've seen from Bo Nix, like honestly, I was never a Bo Nix believer to begin with. I wasn't high on him coming into the draft. I didn't see him being a guy that a team should draft and build their franchise around for a number of reasons. Um, so I don't know. I mean, like he was supposed to be the quote unquote most pro ready quarterback because of his age and experience, and things like that. But he's come in and there was a lot of talk about his preseason and how good he looked in the preseason and training camp and all this. Sean Payton was gassing him up to the media, yada yada yada. But that hasn't translated to anything on the field. You've seen, um, decisions that he's made that you wouldn't expect the most pro-ready quarterback in the league to make, even though, at the end of the day, he still is a rookie. Some of them decisions, some of those picks he's thrown so far have been kind of mind-numbing. They didn't not making any sense. Um, and so I could see him being potentially someone that would get benched. I don't see Caleb or Jaden, and no, Jaden's been actually pretty good so far for the most. He hasn't thrown a touchdown, but I think eye test wise
Yeah.
um, and that sort of thing. He's looked actually pretty solid.
He
Obviously,
looks
I'm
good. He just
worried about him taking all those hits that he's taking. I think
yeah.
he needs to, especially because he's so small, like thin. Why he's thin. I'm worried about him being able to last through the entire season if he continues to run as much as he does and doesn't slide. That's my biggest concern with him. And then Caleb, I don't know. Here the start to his game on Sunday night looked amazing. Like he looked so much more comfortable. He was making quicker decisions. He was accurate with the football. But then as the game kind of progressed and the pressure started to heat up and they started to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, that's when he kind of went back into that, oh shit, I gotta, put my Superman cape on and scramble and try to evade three defenders in the pocket and throw on the run over, try to drop it in the pocket across three people. And that's when you kind of saw some of those things that he could get away with in college that, you're not going to be able to get away with in the NFL. And I think he's still learning. So, um, but their offensive line play, it's hard to like evaluate Caleb because the offensive line play in that game was so atrocious that it's hard for me to say, oh man, like, you know, it's not looking good for Caleb yet. Like I think obviously he needs time. And I don't think anybody, especially Bears fans, should be panicking because he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass to date. I think you just want to see steps in the right direction. And I think he played better in week 2 than he did in week 1. And so you kind of hope to build on that going into week 3. Just hope that he plays better than he did in week 2. And you keep going from there.
Right. Yeah, Caleb's obviously struggling. But like you're saying, when you're looking at that, it's well, first of all, when it comes to just evaluating rookie quarterback play, I think that CJ Stroud has completely ruined the NFL with because we've seen rookie quarterbacks play well before, but we've never realistically watched a quarterback lead his team throughout the season and you say, oh, can they win the Super Bowl? Like Brock Purdy was a rookie, but he was kind of in a solar system where we've named multiple quarterbacks over the course of the show who could uh produce and play well in that type of offense with Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan calling plays and that defense on the talent everywhere. So we don't look at that as rookie Brock Purdy leading the 49ers to the NFC Championship game. CJ Stroud led that team. He brought life into that organization. The way it looked, he's out there throwing for 300 yards a game, throwing bombs, making superstars out of guys like Nico Collins, who no one even knew was in the league before CJ Stroud got there. Guys like Tank Dell, who were overlooked. Uh, so we've never seen a quarterback come in his rookie year. We saw Mahomes do this in his second year, but in the rookie year and be a contender just off the gate. So now everyone's looking testing quarterbacks on CJ Stroud, and I'm to blame too for this because beginning of the year we were talking about Caleb. You see that okay, this guy has all the talent in the world. He's got as much talent as CJ. Can he so and he's got all the weapons now. He's got even better weapons. He's got DJ Moore, he's got Keenan Allen. They drafted Romo Dunze number 10. They got Cole Kmet. They got the Bears defense. So you're looking at him and like, okay, he should pretty much pick up where CJ left off. He's good enough to do it. But no, there's a lot more that goes into it. Confidence, just and then it's just offensive line play, of course, culture. So you look at all that with Caleb. When I look at Caleb play, nothing really it doesn't look easy. Yeah, he'll get a couple 3-yard completions that really don't add anything to the drives in my opinion. Um, but it's the offensive line is so bad, and then the way the offense is schemed, it seems like Caleb is being asked to do a lot for them to get 10 yards on a play. Like there's never a play action, 1, 2 here across the middle, like you see in a lot of those West Coast offenses. The first read is usually it's everything looks contested out there. If it's past 5 yards, he's having to go through multiple reads. He's having to buy time. The offensive line is terrible. But two, I don't think that their offensive coordinator is really putting him in the best position to succeed.
Yeah, I could see
And
that for sure.
and then when you look at a guy like Bo Nix, I think Bo Nix can play. But they just lost to two teams that are better than them. They lost to the Seahawks, and then the Steelers are better than them. That we've already just finished talking about that defense. So I feel like it's a little too early to see there. And then pretty much I agree with everything you said about Jaden. Athleticism. I didn't realize this guy could move the way he is, how fast he is. You see him running against fastest athletes in the world, and he looks even faster. But he does need to go down because he weighs a buck 75, and he's going to get hurt if he keeps saying, yeah, he needs to learn from RG3. But yeah, he needs to learn how to slide. I think that this next week at practice, they need to bring in Baltimore Orioles coaches and Washington Nationals coaches and just teach him how to slide the whole week.
Get
So
a slip and slide out there, man. Just
yeah, get the slip and slide for Jaden Daniels before this guy's out for the year. Um, but yeah, so it's a little too early to tell. I do see promise with all three of these guys. I think Caleb's going to be a lot better towards the end of the year. The Bears aren't going to make the playoffs. They don't look like a playoff team in any shape of it. They have a playoff caliber defense, but their play calling is terrible. Offensive line is terrible. They can't really have a consistent run game. Not going to make the playoffs without a consistent run game and a rookie quarterback. So, yeah, I think that their coach is gone after this year, and they need to get an offensive minded guy in there, someone a real guru, someone who apparently just worked with either Sean McVay
they
or
need to go get
Kyle Shanahan.
Ben Johnson from the Lions. Would
Yeah,
be a
Ben,
great,
Ben
great fit.
Johnson would be great.
Or
Um,
the Texans offensive
I was just
coordinator
about to say that I think that's the guy that you go and get. I think that's exactly who you go and get and pair with Caleb Williams. I think that's a no brainer.
or Brandon Staley.
No, you get Brandon Staley. There's a wonderful popcorn machine in the stadium. He can man it down all 17 weeks. Guarantee you he'll do it. But yeah, that's about all I got on the rookie quarterbacks. And then lastly, let's get it. Let's get it.